Well, good morning. Here it is, Monday. It's Monday morning. It's February the 21st. And Angie and I had a great weekend. You went down at Falls Creek on our retreat and feel refreshed, ready to tackle whatever comes this week. And I hope that you're doing well. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you're ready to also jump into this week and see what God has in store for us. And I know He'll give us opportunities this week if we'll just only allow Him to lead in our lives. But this morning I want to talk about how to show grace in disagreement. Unity. The word unity does not mean uniformity. When God says He wants His followers to be united, it doesn't mean that He wants us to all be, alike. Listen, if He had wanted that, if He had wanted us to all be alike, He would have created us, all the same. He could have almost like created robots, all doing the same thing, look the same way, and everything else. But for unity's sake. We must never let differences in the church divide us. We should celebrate those differences while staying focused on what matters most, and that's learning to love each other as Christ loved us, and fulfilling God's purposes for each of us in His church. But what you ask, well, what about all those differences in church members who annoy you? How can you be united with someone who irritates you to no end? I've realized through watching the series The Chosen, they bring out the differences in each one of the disciples and just the disciples, and you realize, it's made me realize, they didn't all necessarily think alike. They had their differences in their personalities and different things, and they clashed a little bit. I hadn't thought about that. But Romans chapter 1, and I'm going to read out of the Message. I want you to listen to what it says. It says, "Welcome with open arms, fellow believers who don't see things the way you do. And don't jump all over them every time they do or say something you don't agree with, even when it seems that they are strong on opinions but weak in the faith department. Remember, they have their own history to deal with. Treat them gently." In a church or for that matter anywhere, but we need to be quick to listen and slow to anger, when you have a disagreement. We ask, well, why is that? Well, it's because, most people tend to look at how far a person has to go rather than recognizing how far they've already come. You see, every person has a story. I mean, if you knew how much someone had already overcome in their life, you'd probably be rejoicing, with them instead of criticizing them for where they are. When you have conflict, with someone whose background that you don't know, listen, don't dismiss them or judge them for behavior that you don't really understand. Stop thinking, what's wrong with this person, and instead ask what happened to them. What makes them act that way? Someone's behavior, might be shaped by some type of trauma or crisis that they've had in their life. Let's face it, hurt people hurt people. When you find someone that's hurting other people, I mean, if you really dig deep enough, you see, you'll probably find that they've also been hurt. The people that you think, deserve your kindness the least are those who probably need the most massive doses of love. And so to achieve unity, we need to offer, empathy and compassion instead of judgment. When you affirm someone's worth and the story God is writing through, their life, you don't just change that one person's life. You see, you can transform a whole community when we do that type of thing, when we accept them and we learn to understand, what makes them tick the way they tick. And so I hope that's encouraging this morning. I hope that helps us to understand what unity in the church and unity around us means. It means we get to know somebody and understand what makes them, believe the way they do. And so anyway, I hope that helps you this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember, Angie and I, we love you guys, and we're praying for you. And Lord's willing, I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.